This is the quiet pull, an overlooked truth about attracting what you want simply by being still. You'll discover that the strongest form of attraction doesn't require struggle, just alignment. You aren't meant to chase after abundance, you're meant to become it. Introduction. It's the quiet pull. In the deep corners of your soul, there's an ancient pulse, an energy older than time itself, humming gently beneath life's chaos. It doesn't shout or demand. It attracts, like the moon pulling the tides. This sacred rhythm flows unseen through all aspects of life, weaving wealth with wisdom, abundance with awareness, success with that stillness found between thoughts. You felt it, even if you didn't know what to call it. It shows up in those moments when everything just seems to work out, when life unfolds effortlessly, when doors swing wide open without you even knocking. This is the quiet pull, the unseen force of alignment. These truths aren't just written down, they've been remembered, passed along through whispers like a flame from one soul to another, carried through time by those embracing harmony over struggle. They don't teach you how to get things. Instead, they show you how to become. Because the true magnetic force doesn't chase, it invites. This message has come to you now because you're starting to listen again. Your spirit is awakening to a truth it's held on to. The universe responds not to hard work, but to your energy, not to striving, but to stillness. And in that stillness, the magnetic force begins to rise. Prosperity isn't something you achieve, it's something you remember, like a song you've forgotten deep within your being. The abundance you're searching for is already there, just waiting for the right harmony. As you go through this journey, you won't be asked to do more. Instead, you'll uncover more of who you truly are beneath all the noise, becoming a vessel of quiet light, in tune with the cosmos. The great power of the quiet pull is to exist in such an authentic way that the universe can't help but flow to you, like rivers to the ocean, like sunlight at dawn. What's calling you now isn't new, it's ancient, and it has always belonged to you. Part 1. Awakening the Quiet Current. Chapter 1. The Whisper Beneath the Wind. Walter, the old shepherd, had spent years wandering the familiar trails of the hills, but today felt different. As he gathered his flock at dusk, his hand brushed against a small stone hidden in the grass. It looked plain, yet had a soft, almost hidden vibration. He slipped it into his pocket and felt it pulse gently, like a distant heartbeat. As days went by, Walter found himself drawn to new paths he'd never seen before. One evening, following this quiet pull, he stumbled upon a hidden spring beneath an ancient oak, its water so pure it felt alive. The universe doesn't shout, it whispers. Like Walter's humming stone, attraction flows through your life like a gentle current. When you chase after abundance with loud claims and frantic actions, you might drown out the very melody that would bring it to you. The key isn't to magnify your hopes, but to tune into the soft pulse already within you. You're naturally magnetic. Just like the Earth's core has its magnetic field effortlessly, you have a powerful attractive force too. This power grows not from struggle, but from stillness, those moments when you connect with the hum of your own existence. Take Evelyn, for example. She stood at a crossroads. One path sparkled with bright promises and applause. It was the prestigious job everyone insisted she needed. The other path called softly, drawing her toward a little-known startup. While others nudged her toward the obvious option, she trusted her quiet instinct. In just months, that small company revolutionized its industry, and Evelyn found herself not only wealthy but working in a way that felt true to her soul. The whispers guiding you aren't random. They reflect your magnetic nature, revealing what's already meant for you. When you learn to trust this quiet guidance, you connect with the flow of abundance that's been heading your way all along. Here's a simple practice. Find a quiet spot where you won't be disturbed. Place your right hand over your heart and close your eyes gently. For 5 minutes, just be still, feeling the warmth of your hand and the rhythm of your breath. Pay attention to any subtle sensations or gentle stirrings within you. After being quiet and reflecting, pick up your journal. Use simple lines and shapes to express how you feel, letting your hand flow like water, capturing the vibe inside you. Now let's move to Chapter 2, The Cup That Must Be Emptied. One misty morning, Thomas walked along a path, shoulders hunched from years of counting other people's money. He held a clay chalice, cracked and worn, a reminder of a business failure from 30 years ago. He thought of it as his biggest mistake. Then a traveler appeared beside him, dressed simply, holding just a small bag. From it, he pulled out a golden chalice that caught the morning light. "This is for you," the traveler said, holding it out. But when Thomas reached for it, the traveler pulled back. "You need to empty your hands first to accept this." Thomas tightened his grip on the broken chalice. "But this represents my lesson in life," he protested. The traveler smiled softly. "No, it's your life's prison. The law of receptivity works perfectly. Like a vessel that needs emptying to be filled, your life must let go of what doesn't help you before new abundance can flow in. Beliefs about scarcity, memories of what went wrong, feelings of unworthiness, these aren't protective charms. They're walls blocking your path to prosperity. Take Hattie, a talented seamstress. She spent years with a demanding client who made her life hard, yet she held on, thinking it brought her security. Finally, she found the courage to end that relationship. Suddenly, she had space in her schedule and energy to spare. Before long, 3 exciting new clients came her way, ones who appreciated her skills and creativity. The universe quickly filled the void she created with something that truly matched her worth. This idea goes beyond just things or tough relationships. Even your thoughts take up space. Each belief about your life or what you deserve acts like a barrier, limiting what can come in. When you let go of these beliefs, you make room for new opportunities. Now for your sacred practice, the release ritual. Grab a piece of paper and write, "Let go of one belief, habit, or attachment." Be clear. Name the thought that holds you back, the relationship that exhausts you, or the thing that ties you to an old story. Hold that paper in your hands and recognize how this part of your life has helped you, even if it only taught you what you don't need anymore. Then, with purpose, safely burn the paper in a fireproof container, shred it into little bits, or bury it in the ground. As you do this, feel the space within you clearing out. This space isn't empty. It's full of potential, ready for the new abundance that is already on its way to you. Chapter 3. The Law That Attracts. In the foothills of old mountains where veins of gold ran through the stone like frozen rivers, there lived an old miner named Clyde. His hands had the gentle strength of someone who understood nature's deepest secrets. One morning, a boy from the village came to him, dragging a pickaxe as tall as he was. "Teach me to find gold," he insisted, determination on his young face. Clyde smiled and motioned for him to sit near the mine entrance. "Put down your tool," he said softly. "Gold isn't found by force. It's attracted through harmony." The law of attraction doesn't work through mental force, but through the silent language of energy. Just like the earth gives up its treasures to those who show respect, abundance flows to those who nurture an inner sense of appreciation. Money is energy frozen in time, a physical form of the universal flow. When you grasp this truth, you see that wealth can't be forced into existence. It must be welcomed in through connection. Your relationship with money reflects your relationship with life. Where there's demand, there's struggle. Where there's respect, there's flow. In a small seaside town, Mabel was surrounded by empty rooms and even emptier bank accounts after her husband passed away. Instead of giving in to scarcity, she started a simple evening ritual. Each night, she lit a candle and thanked every penny that came her way that day. She expressed gratitude for the electric bill that brought light to her home and blessed her grocery receipts for nourishing her body. Slowly, without any changes in her situation, her financial landscape began to shift, and forgotten investments blossomed. A relative unexpectedly reached out to help. Mabel discovered that a skill she had always overlooked could actually bring in money. It wasn't that the universe was responding to what she lacked, it was reacting to her gratitude. This change wasn't about magic, it was about drawing in what she respected. By shifting her focus from what she didn't have to what she appreciated, Mabel changed the signal she sent out. Money moves towards those who see and honor its true value. For the next week, practice being thankful for every financial exchange you experience, whether you're receiving or spending. Take a moment to bless each transaction. Treat your cash and coins with respect. Recognize your bank statements as records of energy flowing through your life. Keep a simple journal. Note not just how money changes, but how your feelings about it shift. You'll see how a mindset of gratitude attracts more of it. In a little workshop filled with the ticking of clocks, Edgar spent his days lost in the secrets of time. His hands were experienced with every tiny part, but he didn't see the real treasure just waiting there. One winter morning, as he put on his old work coat, he felt something in the lining. It was a beautiful brass key stitched into the fabric. This key led him to a family vault that had been untouched for years. Inside, he found not only riches, but remnants of a legacy he had carried without knowing. Just like Edgar, you've got hidden treasures within you. The universe has already planted seeds of abundance inside you, not as something far off, but as a present reality. Your wealth starts in your mind before it shows up in the physical world. This truth doesn't change with time. The world around you reflects how you see your own value. Many wander through life wearing a coat of limitations, unaware of the key sewn into it. Your beliefs about your worthiness, your right to receive, and your place in the universe shape what you accept. The vault of prosperity is ready, just waiting for you to notice the key you've held all along. Meanwhile, in a sunlit studio, Clara stood in front of her canvases. Everyone could see her talent, except for her. Every day, she painted amazing works but questioned their worth. Then, one morning, she realized something. Clara chose to value her own worth before looking for validation from others. She started talking to herself like she was already successful, recognizing her talents as meaningful gifts to the world. Within weeks, a well-known gallery owner visited her studio, drawn by an energy he couldn't quite explain. He became her first supporter, not because her art had changed, but because her view of herself had. Remember this: your experience of abundance comes from recognizing your own value. Money, success, and opportunities aren't things you earn. They're simply natural outcomes of knowing your worth. Let's talk about a simple practice. Each night, before you sleep, stand in front of a mirror in complete stillness. Look deep into your own eyes, the gateways to your infinite soul, and say with quiet confidence, "I am already enough. I am already rich." Let this truth sink in, not as a distant hope, but as a recognition of your current reality. This practice sparks the awareness of your own abundance, unlocking what's always been yours. Now, let's hear about the still flame. Picture this: a sailor named Frank out on the vast ocean, where sky and water blend endlessly. He found himself caught in a storm that took away every navigational tool he had. For days, he searched the cloudy sky for help until he was too exhausted to keep fighting. In that moment of letting go, he saw something amazing. When his mind quieted, the water beneath him became a perfect mirror, showing patterns he'd never noticed before. Those subtle movements, clear only in calm waters, guided him safely back to shore. Inside you is the same principle of reflection. The universe doesn't just respond to your wishes, it reacts to the stillness from which those wishes come. When your emotions are all over the place, they distort every sign and clue meant to help you. But when you're calm, the path ahead becomes clear. This age-old truth has been shared through generations. Chaos pushes things away, while calm draws them in. Just like a candle flame that attracts others with its steady light, your inner stability creates a magnetic force for manifestation. Money, opportunities, and abundance naturally flow to those who stay centered, even in life's tempests. Think about a pond. It must be still to reflect the stars above. Your mind works the same way. Before you can reflect your greatest potential, you need to find clarity. It's not about sitting back and waiting. It's about actively nurturing your inner peace. In a quaint little village, there was a talented midwife named Ruth who was struggling to grow her practice. Despite her skills, her anxiety about succeeding created an uneasy vibe that potential clients could pick up on. One day, she realized that when she took a moment to center herself before visiting expectant mothers, their response was different. Ruth started a routine of calming herself before stepping into each home. Before long, her soothing presence became well known in the village. Mothers began specifically asking for her help, feeling safer knowing she was there. Her practice thrived, not because she worked harder or became more skilled, but because of the magnetic peace she cultivated within herself. This idea holds true in every area of abundance. The universe naturally seeks balance, flowing towards those who keep their inner calm. Your emotional steadiness acts like a lighthouse, attracting what aligns with your peaceful nature. To invite prosperity, there's a simple practice to try. Before any financial dealings or business choices, pause and take 3 deep breaths. Let each inhale fill you with certainty, while each exhale lets go of anxiety or urgency. This ritual creates a calm space around your financial matters, signaling the universe that you're ready to receive gracefully. Feel how every breath draws you closer to the infinite source of prosperity. The first breath brings you into the now, the second opens you up to receive, and the third seals your connection to the divine flow of abundance. As you keep this up, notice how your relationship with money shifts. It no longer feels riddled with fear or desperation, but is filled with a quiet confidence that understands the eternal rules of prosperity. In the heart of an ancient city, a master tailor named Herbert put great care into every garment he created. Each morning, he'd take the same path to his shop. But one day, he felt an unfamiliar tug in his heart, guiding him down a narrow alley he had seen countless times before. Following this strange urging, he came upon a hidden merchant stall draped with fabrics that shimmered like no other, threads that seemed to catch the first light of dawn. Herbert learned that this extraordinary fabric came from In a quiet monastery, monks wove meditation into everything, touching every piece of Herbert's work. Soon, noble folks from afar were drawn to his modest shop, transforming it into a haven of beauty. The universe communicates through attraction. When something pulls at you, a path, a chance, an unexpected turn, it's a sign from that vast intelligence that creates everything. Your desires aren't just random thoughts. They're sacred signals guiding you to what's already yours in the spiritual realm. Think of it like a thread sewn into the fabric of life. You're linked to everything that's meant for you long before it shows up in the physical world. This connection lives in the subtle energy around us. Your job isn't to create new links, but to notice and strengthen the ones that already exist. In a small-town library, Beatrice cherished the ancient texts. One night, she dreamt of a blue leather book, its chapters meant only for her. At first, she brushed it off as just a dream, but it kept coming back. Eventually, she followed that persistent feeling, searching the library's forgotten spots. Behind a loose panel, she found a book that looked just like the one from her dream. Inside was a letter connecting her to the library's founders, revealing her role as its rightful guardian. These stories show a timeless truth. The road to your destiny often starts with trusting the gentle nudges of your heart. What you seek is looking for you, sending whispers through intuition, dreams, and strange attractions. Here's a simple practice. Find a calm spot where you won't be interrupted. Take 3 deep breaths, letting your mind settle. On a blank page, write down 3 desires from deep within, not just surface-level wants, but deep yearnings that excite and scare you a bit. For each desire, close your eyes and ask yourself, how am I already linked to this dream? Write freely, letting your intuition uncover the unseen threads that connect you to what you want. Maybe you'll find that the skills you need are unfolding, important people are already in your life, or past experiences have been paving the way for you all along. This practice shows that manifesting isn't about pulling something out of nowhere. Chapter 7, The Currency of Belief. In a mountain village where fog clung to old stone walls, there lived a blacksmith named Alvin. He worked hard at his forge, but success always seemed just out of reach. One day, a wandering monk stopped by to warm himself by the fire. The monk took out 2 coins, one shiny gold, the other a plain copper piece. "Which one is worth more?" he asked. Without thinking, Alvin pointed to the gold coin. The monk smiled and said, "Sure, in this village that makes sense. But in my temple, copper is sacred, worth 10 times its weight in gold. The value of anything comes from what we believe about it." This was a big moment. Alvin was starting to see a profound truth. Belief is the real currency of life. Our expectations shape what we experience, more than anything outside us. When you shift how you think about money, you change your entire financial world. The universe reacts not to what you possess, but to what you feel you truly deserve. Think of your thoughts about wealth like seeds in rich soil. They'll grow into exactly what you anticipate. That's why 2 people can have the same opportunity, but end up with very different results. In a busy marketplace, there was a teacher named Ada who taught music from her small home. For years, she charged what she thought was reasonable. Then one day she recognized her real value. Without making a big fuss, she simply doubled her rates. To her surprise, not only did her students stick around, but even more showed up, drawn in by her newfound confidence. Her income doubled, not because of a clever plan, but due to the quiet power of her belief. This wisdom has been passed down through time. Your beliefs about money act like magnets, pulling in or pushing away abundance. Change your beliefs, and you change your energy. The universe will respond accordingly. Now for some daily practice. Each morning, stand in front of your mirror and confidently declare these 3 beliefs. I am a natural channel for abundance. Money flows to me easily and joyfully. My wealth increases as I grow in awareness. Let these words sink in until they feel as automatic as breathing, resonating through every part of you. In this practice, you're not just talking, you're changing the very way you vibrate with wealth. Every time you repeat these affirmations, you're building a stronger magnetic field of abundance around you, tuning your spirit into the endless flow of universal prosperity. Chapter 8. The Guardian at the Gate. Young Morris stood at the entrance of a cave, his heart racing. Stories of a fierce dragon had kept the villagers away for generations. As he gazed into the dark, an elder appeared beside him, his eyes shining with the wisdom of many seasons. "What do you see?" the elder asked gently. "The dragon's lair," Morris whispered, shaking with fear. "Look closer," the elder encouraged. "The dragon you fear is just the shadow of your own doubt taking shape. It grows bigger when you're afraid, and smaller when you understand it. Remember, doubt isn't your enemy, it's a normal part of your journey to success. Like Morris standing at the cave's mouth, you face your own possibilities. The dragons you see are made from your uncertainties. These doubts aren't walls, they're doorways ready for you to walk through. When you treat your doubts with kindness instead of pushing them away, they start to show their true nature. Each question that pops up isn't a roadblock, but a step toward deeper insight. Your doubt isn't a sign to back off, it's a call to move forward with more awareness. In a peaceful valley, there once lived a singer named Norma. Her voice used to fill concert halls, but after a harsh review, she fell silent, letting doubt steal her song. For years she avoided the stage until she learned to talk to her fear like an old friend. "I hear you," she'd say to her doubt, "but I'm going to sing anyway." She started with small gatherings, treating each performance as a chat with her uncertainty. By acknowledging her fear without letting it take charge, her voice regained its strength, and soon enough, bigger crowds returned. This story reflects your own path with abundance. The doubts you have about success and worthiness aren't barriers, they're companions meant to be understood. When you fight against them, they get stronger. But when you greet them with compassion, they start to help rather than hold you back. Sacred practice. Find a quiet spot where you won't be interrupted. Grab your journal and write a letter to your doubt, treating it like an old friend. Reach out to an old friend who's walked alongside you for a long time. Thank it for trying to keep you safe, for making you stay alert and thoughtful on your journey. With a kind but firm heart, set new boundaries for your friendship. Let it know when you'll consider its advice and when you must move forward without its input. Wrap up by sharing your new insight. Doubt can accompany you, but it won't steer your life anymore. Chapter 9. The Language of the Unseen. In a village nestled among ancient hills lived Ezekiel. He never spoke a word, yet his hands danced like birds, creating symbols that stirred something deep within everyone who saw them. Each morning he'd draw a spiral in the village square's dust. By day's end, the villagers found their lives aligning with its rhythm. You see, the language of creating your reality goes beyond simple words. The universe doesn't just listen to what you say, it tunes into the unspoken energy of your being. Like Ezekiel's symbols, your deepest truths don't need a voice to reshape what's around you. The power of attraction flows through vibrations, through those quiet currents that run beneath conscious thought. When you sync up with these currents, words take a backseat to the pure energy of your wishes. This is why some of the strongest manifestations happen in silence, in the spaces between thoughts where potential brews. In her garden, Opal discovered this truth through soil and seed. She didn't utter her desires. Instead, she filled each seed with her intentions before planting. As she tucked them into the earth, she envisioned abundance. When spring arrived, her garden blossomed, reflecting her inner dreams. Roses spiraled in patterns that mimicked her envisioned success, and vines climbed in shapes mirroring her feelings of prosperity. Her garden stood as a living proof of communicating with the universe through symbols. Each flower, each leaf, arranged itself according to the silent whispers of her heart's wishes. Villagers walking through her garden felt their own possibilities awakening, unable to explain why. This highlights a key truth about manifestation. The universe responds more strongly to symbols and vibrations than to words and logic. Your ability to attract abundance isn't just about what you articulate. What you say matters, but it's how clearly you express your energy through symbols and intention that really counts. Take some quiet time alone to create or find a symbol of wealth that speaks to you. It could be a stone with patterns that evoke abundance, an image that captures prosperity, or a geometric shape that connects with your idea of flow. Hold this symbol in your hands or look at it for 5 minutes each day. Let it speak to your spirit, skipping over your thoughts. Make it a bridge between what you want and the flow of abundance in the universe. Through this silent connection, you tune into the age-old language of manifestation, the kind that has moved mountains and changed lives forever. Chapter 10. The Silence That Shouts. By the river where willow trees whispered to the water, Hank found his peace each morning. As the mist rose like waking spirits, he'd sit on a weathered wooden bench. No prayers were said, no wishes made. Just the steady rhythm of his breath syncing with the river's flow. There's a special power in silence that many don't grasp. When you stop the constant noise of wanting and pushing, you tap into a sacred frequency where the universe finally hears your true self. This isn't a silence of absence, but one of fullness, where your very being shines like a beacon. For 3 seasons, Hank kept his daily routine by the water. Neither rain nor wind made him waver. He simply sat, merging with the river's timeless flow. Then one autumn morning, as golden leaves danced on the water, his old friend James appeared beside him. Without any small talk or requests, James mentioned a job that seemed to come straight from Hank's unspoken dreams, a role that would use his talents while respecting his need for solitude. The universe doesn't respond to how loudly you ask. It responds to how deeply you align yourself with life. When you have the courage to be still and trust the life force around you, you naturally attract what you desire. Think about Elsie. Her flower shop sat at the corner of Oak and Main. For years, she hustled and promoted, trying to find the right customers. But then, inspired by the quiet wisdom of her flowers, she chose a new path. Every morning, before she opened her shop, she would stand quietly among her flowers, holding a clear vision of serving those who truly appreciated her artistry. No announcements, no flashy signs, yet in just a few weeks, her customers changed. Gone were the bargain hunters. Now she had people who understood the beauty of her arrangements. This change didn't come from action, but from the magic of stillness. Like a flower that doesn't need to shout to attract the right pollinator, your focused energy can send powerful signals to the universe. So here's a sacred practice. Find a quiet spot where you won't be disturbed. Sit in silence for 10 minutes. Picture your desire clearly in your mind. Don't say a word, don't make any affirmations. Just let yourself vibe with what you want. Let that silence become a channel for the universe to respond to you. This practice, when done regularly and with trust, opens up paths that words can't create. Now let's talk about Chapter 11, The Law Listens. In a cozy cottage high in the misty mountains, Margaret learned a truth that not many do. After years of sharing her voice and moving people with her words, she chose the path of sacred silence, not out of fear, but from a deep understanding of something greater. The power of stillness flows like a hidden river. You can't see it, but it's always there, and it's endless. When you stop broadcasting your desires to the world, you tap into that ancient energy. Your silence turns into a magnetic pull, attracting what matches your true vibe. As Margaret's voice dimmed, the universe started to communicate. Letters came from fans whose lives were changed by her past work, opportunities she hadn't even sought. Publishers approached her, not with pitches or proposals, but simply drawn to the powerful energy of her quiet presence. She discovered that stillness isn't a lack of power, it's power concentrated. When you let go of the need to shout your intentions, you let the universe work for you. Your aligned energy becomes a beacon, stronger than any spoken word. Take Calvin, for instance. He built his career around persuasion. His days were, he worked hard, pitching ideas and following up, but success still slipped away like water. Then, in a moment of fatigue, he found a game-changing truth, the power of listening in silence. Instead of filling every client meeting with chatter, Calvin started to truly listen. He stopped trying to persuade and created space for real connections. In that silence, something amazing happened. His clients felt heard, understood, and valued. They began to seek him out instead of him chasing after them. Within 3 months, his client list tripled, each new relationship built on this sacred silence. Your words can create ripples, but your quiet energy creates waves. When you trust and let your energy speak, you tap into a power stronger than any well-prepared speech. Here's a sacred practice. Dedicate 1 full day to complete silence about your dreams and goals. Release the urge to voice them. Instead, feel their warmth within you like a glowing flame. Notice how people respond more to your energy than your words. Observe the subtle changes around you, the unexpected doors that open. Keep a record of these little synchronicities in your journal. The universe communicates most clearly when you create the space to listen. Chapter 12. The Gold Behind the Curtain. Behind every velvety curtain lies a mystery waiting to be revealed. In a small theater outside town, Vernon went through his nightly routine, dusting props and adjusting ropes that held up the heavy drapes. For 20 years he walked these wooden floors, tending to the behind-the-scenes magic that brought stories to life. One evening, as shadows crept across the stage, a soft glow caught his eye, something bright shining through a gap in the curtains. There, in a forgotten corner, was an orb of pure light. As Vernon held it in his shaking hands, a realization hit him. The most powerful magic happens backstage, in hidden spaces. The universe is like a grand theater. While you focus on the main stage of your life, countless forces work in perfect harmony behind the curtain, arranging circumstances, aligning opportunities, and weaving connections you can't yet see. Your role is not. Instead of trying to control every detail, learn to trust in the unseen dance of manifestation. Josephine's story makes this clear. She was a young mother of 2 who had a tight grip on how she wanted her life to unfold. A specific job, the right house, and a strict timeline. Each day, she held these expectations tightly until she was worn out, forcing her to let go of her rigid plans. When she did, something amazing happened. A distant aunt, moved by Josephine's commitment to her kids, offered her a successful business opportunity. This chance let her work from home and earn 3 times what she'd hoped for. The universe had been arranging this gift all along, just waiting for Josephine to stop clinging to how her good fortune should come. Think of your desires like seeds planted in rich soil. You may not see them growing under the surface, but trust that roots are spreading, nutrients are flowing, and life is brewing. Breakthroughs often don't come through forced timing, they emerge through divine arrangement. To cultivate this belief, find a quiet spot where you won't be interrupted. Close your eyes and picture a grand theater. In front of you lies a heavy velvet curtain, and behind it, your desires are being carefully shaped. Feel the excitement building, knowing everything is aligning for your highest good. Let go of the urge to peek behind the curtain or rush the process. Just relax in the certainty that the universe is preparing your blessings with utmost care. Hold this vision for a few minutes and let peace wash over you, replacing anxiety and trust replacing the need to control. In the still hours before dawn, while the world was asleep, Harlan sat at his telegraph station, fingers gently resting on the brass key. For 30 years, he had translated the dots and dashes that sent messages across great distances. But this morning was different. Amid the official messages, he began to pick up a different kind of signal, soft clicks rising from the silence. At first, he thought it was just his imagination, but the pattern became clear. They repeated a simple yes in perfect sync with his heartbeat. The universe communicates in frequencies, not words, just like Harlan's telegraph key. Your mind is a tool meant to pick up signals from the infinite. When you get your inner vibe in sync with what you want, the universe gives you an instant yes. No need for negotiations, pleading, or explanations. Just being aligned is enough. Your job isn't to prove you're worthy. It's to adjust your inner frequency to match your desires. Think of a radio. You have to tune it just right to get a clear signal. Similarly, your mind needs to be fine-tuned to the vibes of abundance, love, or whatever you aim to attract. Take Irene, for example. Her little bakery struggled for years, even though her recipes were top-notch. She always doubted herself, running through all the worst-case scenarios before making a move. That doubt sent out bad vibes, and the universe mirrored that back with poor sales. But one early morning, while she was kneading dough, she had a light bulb moment. Instead of focusing on her doubts, she quietly affirmed, "I am the baker I was born to be." No big announcements, no drastic life changes, just a subtle shift in her mindset. Within weeks, customers started flocking in like never before. Orders came in effortlessly. Her pastries didn't change, but her mindset did. The universe answered with a loud yes. Here's a daily ritual. Every morning, find a quiet space. Put your hands over your heart. Feel its steady beat. With each breath, quietly tell yourself, "The universe says yes to me." Let that truth sink in deep. You're not asking for permission. You're recognizing the yes that's always been waiting for you to tune into it. Spend a few minutes resonating with this knowledge. Before we move on to the next chapter, don't forget to grab a free ebook version of this audiobook through the link in the pinned comment below. Chapter 14, The Hidden Vault Within. In the dim corners of an old bank, Samuel swept the marble floors every night for 30 years. His routine was set in stone, until one night he spotted an odd groove in the wall behind a loose panel. His rough hands traced the outline and uncovered an ancient vault door, its brass tarnished with age. Inside were hundreds of unopened letters, each filled with financial wisdom passed down for generations. Yet they remained untouched, their secrets locked away like hidden treasures. The real treasure isn't just out there, it's what you discover inside yourself. Just like Samuel when he found a hidden room in a place he thought he knew well, you too have a treasure trove of abundance waiting for you within. This isn't about gold or silver, it's about your natural understanding of prosperity. Your journey with wealth starts deep in your heart in what you believe and in how you expect things to go. When you change your thoughts about money, the world around you reacts accordingly. The universe reflects what you've already claimed inside. Take Lillian, for example. She spent 15 years at the same school, walking past old textbooks and saying, "There's never enough funding. We always have to make do." One morning, while she was organizing her classroom, she stumbled upon an old journal. A new thought sparked in her. What if abundance starts with me? From that moment, she began telling a different story, one of possibilities instead of limitations. She stopped focusing on what was missing and started envisioning a flow of resources. In less than a month, an envelope arrived with news of a significant educational grant, one she hadn't even applied for. The money matched exactly what she had envisioned during her quiet moments of belief. To tap into that abundance, it all starts within your mind. First, you have to unlock it there before it shows up in the real world. Just like Samuel's surprise behind the familiar wall, your prosperity is hidden behind outdated thoughts. Create your own soul vault. Get a special journal to document the wealth you have inside you. Daily, jot down your inner riches, your wisdom, talents, and your ability to give and receive. Keep track of the abundance you see, the opportunities you notice, and the gratitude that fills you. This journal will serve as proof of the prosperity that's already in your life, just waiting for you to acknowledge it. Let each entry be a key to unlocking deeper layers of abundance in your mind. As you recognize these treasures within, watch how the outside world begins to mirror your new awareness of wealth. Through the foggy morning streets, Russell walked with his heavy mailbag. For 30 years, he'd been the one delivering messages between people. But only now was he starting to see a pattern. The words people said seemed to drift back to them, almost like they were riding on an unseen wind. The universe acts like a perfect mirror, bouncing back the energy you send out. Your thoughts, feelings, and words create ripples in the cosmic ocean, that eventually wash back to you as life's experiences. This isn't just chance, it's the way a timeless law works. When you talk about what you lack, guess what? Lack finds you. But when you project abundance, look out. Abundance will come looking for you. Your mind is broadcasting all the time, and the universe can't help but respond. It might not happen right away, but it will happen because that's just how energy works. Think about tossing a stone into still water. It makes waves that stretch out and eventually come back. Your thoughts and feelings do the same. They create ripples that must return to you. Dorothy, who cared for the gardens at the local monastery, knew this without anyone explaining it to her. Each morning, while she snipped the roses and watered the herbs, she silently blessed everything. Each plant, each visitor, every moment. She'd think, "May abundance flow to you," as she touched each leaf. She'd whisper to the wind, "May peace find you." She never asked for anything, never demanded a thing. Yet soon enough, visitors started dropping generous donations. Anonymous checks showed up in the monastery's mailbox. A wealthy patron even offered to expand the gardens. The more Dorothy shared her blessed thoughts, the more good things flowed back to her and the monastery. This law works with exactness. What you send out has to come back, not because of a human sense of fairness, but because energy seeks balance naturally. Like attracts like, frequency pulls its match. Your words and thoughts are seeds sown in the rich soil of universal consciousness. They will grow and give fruit according to their kind. Plant blessings, and you'll harvest blessings. Plant gratitude, and you'll reap abundance. As you go through your day, try blessing every person you meet, every building you pass, every situation you encounter. Feel the warmth of kindness radiating from your heart. Make no announcements. Seek nothing in return. Recognize that your awareness can become a fountain of blessings. What flows out will come back to you. It's not about asking or seeking, it's about giving, becoming a channel for good. As you learn this silent blessing art, notice how life starts blessing you in return. Chapter 16, The Sacred Pause. In the bustling marketplace, George stood at his empty shop, burdened by unpaid bills. As he turned the key one last time, an elder appeared. His wise eyes seemed to hold countless experiences. "What do you do when a stream turns muddy?" the elder asked. "Wait for it to clear," George replied. "Then why stir your troubled waters with endless action?" The elder's advice was simple. Take a full day to do nothing. Let your mind and spirit settle. Though George felt resistance, he followed this wisdom. In that sacred stillness, clarity emerged. He envisioned blending traditional crafts with modern needs. It wasn't forced or frantic. It flowed naturally. The universe speaks in silence. When you stop your constant doing, planning, and worrying, divine insights can fill the space you've created. Inner wisdom needs quiet to be heard. Take Winterfred, for example. Her dance career felt like it required non-stop movement. On the morning of a big audition, she felt exhausted, almost buried under a heavy weight. Ignoring conventional wisdom, she listened to that gentle inner voice saying, "Rest." She canceled the audition and allowed herself to simply pause. Her body remembered its true rhythm and her spirit recalibrated. Within days, an unexpected invitation came, a role that fit her perfectly, offered without stress or competition. These stories reveal a deep truth. Pauses aren't empty moments to dread. They are sacred times for realignment. When you feel the urge to act, to push, to force, that's exactly when stillness can offer its greatest gifts. The universe works in cycles of action and rest, just like the natural rhythm of breath. By respecting these pauses, you connect with a deeper flow of creation. Your next inspired action arises not from anxiety, but from clarity. Before making any financial choices, take a moment for some sacred stillness. Find a quiet spot where you won't be bothered and sit comfortably for 3 minutes. Let your breath settle into its natural rhythm. Picture your thoughts like leaves gently drifting down onto calm water. Now, place your hand over your heart and sincerely ask, "Does this truly resonate with me?" Pay attention to any subtle feelings that come up, a warmth, a lightness, or just a quiet knowing. Let your answer come from the wisdom within you, not from fear or logic. Trust that your heart knows things your mind can't calculate. Only move forward when you feel that inner clarity, much like the first morning light breaking through to guide your way. In a small village surrounded by rolling hills, there lived Emmett. He tended his garden with true dedication. His veggies were plentiful and his flowers were vibrant. But what he loved most was sharing. He gave his harvest to neighbors, made bouquets for passers-by, and left baskets of produce on doorsteps before dawn. His generosity flowed endlessly. Then one autumn morning, a merchant offered him a fine wool coat in exchange for his wisdom about soil. Emmett hesitated, as if he'd been hit. The thought of receiving made his hands shake and his voice waver. This moment reveals a universal truth. Your ability to receive reflects your ability to allow. Many who give endlessly often struggle with receiving, creating a subtle wall that blocks the flow of abundance. Have you ever noticed why prosperity circles around you but never lands? Look at your relationship with receiving. Do you brush off compliments, downplay your accomplishments, or refuse help? These are the invisible walls you've built against abundance. Think of Hester, who brought comfort to so many patients. For years, she dismissed their gratitude, waved off their praise, and turned down their simple gifts of appreciation. "It's nothing," she would say. "I'm just doing my job." But one wise patient saw through her pattern. "When you reject our thanks," the elderly woman said, "you reject the circle of giving and receiving. Both are sacred." Deep down, Hester started to embrace the little things life gave her. A heartfelt thank you, a warm cup of tea, a kind word. She learned to smile and say yes without feeling like she had to explain or apologize. A few months later, she received an unexpected letter. A well-known hospital had heard about her wonderful care and offered her the job she'd been dreaming of but never had the courage to chase. By being open to receiving, she had unlocked pathways that were once blocked by her resistance. Life flows in cycles of giving and receiving, just like breathing. If you block one, you slow down both. Your resistance to receiving isn't humility. It creates a disharmony that halts the natural flow of abundance. Make it a habit to pause when someone offers you help, compliments, or support. Take a deep breath, let a genuine smile brighten your face, and simply say yes or thank you. No excuses needed. You might feel a bit uncomfortable, but hold your ground. This simple act starts to break down old barriers that block abundance, letting life's gifts flow back to you. In the misty light of dawn, where the river kisses the sky, Otis stood by the water every morning. He talked to the river like he would to an old friend, sharing his gratitude, dreams, and the pain of loss, like the cherished locket he had lost long ago, which held his mother's picture. "I trust you," he'd tell the river. "I know you keep everything safe in your depths." This story holds a universal truth. Every word you speak creates ripples in time. Your voice sends waves through existence, moving outward until everything circles back at just the right moment. The universe keeps track of everything. We never truly lose a sincere offering. Years flew by, and one day, as Otis cast his net, he found more than just fish. Tangled in the mesh was the locket, a bit tarnished but still whole, with his mother's smile preserved inside. The river had returned his treasure, showcasing the power of living in gratitude instead of loss. The law of attraction doesn't work on demand. It operates on divine timing. Your words and energy form a sacred bond with life. When you speak kindly to the world around you, it can't help but respond, even if the answer comes in unexpected ways or at unexpected times. Maybelle recognized this truth in her own way each morning before her students. When she arrived, she'd sit at her piano, softly thanking the keys, the music, and the quiet between the notes. She never asked for more. She simply recognized what was there. Slowly, her studio started to change. New students showed up, almost as if they appeared out of thin air. Parents talked about the unique touch in her teaching. Even the piano's sound seemed to deepen, as if it was responding to her gratitude. Her world flourished, not because she pushed for growth, but because she learned the power of appreciation. This is a sacred practice. Find your spot where you can connect with nature, where the line between seen and unseen blurs. Every morning, for just 5 minutes, look at the sky, a tree, or any body of water. Let your focus rest there, as gentle as dew on grass. Keep your words simple. Thank you. I know you see me. Feel the truth that you are being noticed by life itself. Sense the old bond that ties your soul to creation. This isn't about asking. It's about recognizing the sacred conversation happening all around you. In this quiet moment, you open yourself to the soft wisdom that flows through everything, remembering that you too are part of this grand tapestry of life. Now, let's shift to Clark, the prospector in the mountains where ancient wisdom speaks through the stones. Every morning, he'd dig with his pan and pickaxe, hands trembling with urgency. "The gold has to be here. I won't stop until I find it," he'd mutter. His fingers were raw from clawing at the rocks, and his back ached from constant digging. The harder he tried, the more the treasure slipped away. You see, the universe doesn't respond to panic, it aligns with peace. If you hold on too tightly, even the richest flow will escape your grip. Clark's story reveals a timeless truth. What you chase with anxiety will always remain just out of reach. One day, worn out and defeated, Clark sank to the ground beside his digging spot and whispered, "I give up." In that moment of total release, the earth trembled, cracking open to reveal a shining vein of gold that had been waiting for his surrender. This is the law of attraction. What you run after will flee, while what you let go of can return to you. Your relationship with abundance should be one of calm acceptance, not frantic chasing. In a quiet seaside town, there lived a widow named Ada. She had a dream about a particular house on the hill, a Victorian one with blue shutters and a garden full of blooming roses. Instead of feeling desperate, she started writing letters each night. She addressed them to my future home. These letters were not demands. They were filled with love and appreciation for what was yet to come. "Thank you for waiting for me," she would write. "I know you'll show up at just the right time." With a smile, Ada sealed each letter and let go of any worries about when or how her dream would come true. Months rolled by, and then, out of the blue, Ada got an unexpected invitation. The owner of that very house, the one she'd been writing to, was a distant relative she had never met. They asked her to become its caretaker and, eventually, its inheritor. The house had always been waiting for her. All it needed was for her to release her tight grip on time and method. Here's a sacred practice you can try for 7 days. Transform how you say things. Shift your language of need into one of welcome. Instead of saying, "I need more money," say, "I welcome abundance." Rather than, "I need this opportunity," say, "I welcome aligned possibilities." Write down these changes in a journal. Notice how your energy shifts from grasping to receiving. This ancient practice helps align your frequency from one of lack to one of allowing. It opens up channels that once felt blocked by neediness. Now, let's move to chapter 20, where the tale unfolds in the tallest tower of an ancient city. Here, time seemed to stand still between heartbeats, and Sylvester lived as the keeper of the great clock. Each morning, before the sun rose, he climbed the winding stairs in the dark. In his pocket was a small pouch of sacred herbs, gathered under the moonlight, as tradition required. You see, wealth doesn't come from luck, but from rhythm, those silent ceremonies you keep when no one is looking. Sylvester felt this truth deep inside him. Every dawn, he'd light his incense with care, letting the smoke rise like prayers. 3 breaths in, 3 breaths out, silence enveloped him. This was his way of connecting with the infinite, a daily act of renewing his trust in the universe's abundance. Time flowed differently within his tower. While others hurried through their mornings, mind racing, Sylvester's ritual brought about a stillness that began to reshape his reality. Small gifts appeared, unexpected solutions came effortlessly, and then larger changes followed, as if unseen hands were rewoven the very fabric of his life. The law of abundance reveals itself when you embrace the quiet rituals of trust. Create a special space around yourself, and the world will respond in kind. When you devote yourself consistently, you become a magnet for what's already yours. In a nearby valley, there lived Pearl, a woman who helped bring many souls into the world. Each evening, as the sky turned to twilight, she would place a single white candle in her window. While lighting that candle, she held a vision in her heart, not out of longing, but with quiet confidence. "I honor what's already mine," she thought, watching the flame dance. No pleas, no deals, just a pure acknowledgement of her rightful abundance. One autumn night, as her candle flickered against the darkening sky, a letter arrived. The inheritance she had almost forgotten about had finally matured, blossoming through time and careful investment. The universe had been working in silence all along, matching the consistency of her sacred practice. Now, choose an object that resonates with your spirit: a crystal, a coin, a key, or anything meaningful to you. Find a quiet spot where you won't be interrupted for 3 minutes each day. Hold your chosen object while taking deep breaths. With each inhale, draw in the universe's abundance, and with each exhale, let go of any resistance. This is not meditation. It's about aligning yourself with the energy of wealth. Keep this practice strong, knowing each session deepens your connection to abundance. Now, let's talk about becoming a magnet. In a dimly lit shop lined with bottles of all shapes and sizes, Marvin the apothecary stumbled upon a truth that changed everything for him. For years, he had carefully mixed herbs and minerals, following old recipes passed down through generations. But one fateful night, he noticed something surprising. The effectiveness of his remedies changed based on the labels he placed on them. The universe responds not to what is, but to what you believe. That's the core of all manifestations. When Marvin labeled a simple rose water as an elixir of fortune, his customers began to experience unexpected windfalls. When he called mint tea a courage brew, shy souls found the strength to speak up. The magic wasn't in the ingredients, it was in the belief behind the labels he gave them. This reflects a fundamental truth. The power of your beliefs isn't just in your mind, they actively shape your reality. What you name holds weight. Absolute belief has to show up in the quiet corners of her study. For years, Dorothy Ann's manuscripts sat untouched, turned away by publishers who just didn't get her vision. Then one night, she picked up her journal and wrote a new story, not about her struggles, but about her unstoppable success. She wrote with such certainty that her hands shook with knowing. Days later, a letter arrived. An editor had stumbled upon one of her old submissions and couldn't stop reading it. The words hadn't changed, but Dorothy Ann had. Reality shifted to match her new belief. Your beliefs aren't just sitting on the sidelines of your life. They shape your entire experience. When you declare a truth with unwavering faith, the universe has to mirror it back to you. This isn't magic. It's a law as steady as gravity, as reliable as sunrise. Every morning when the first light breaks, stand in front of your mirror. Pause in stillness and choose one outcome you want to bring to life, a truth that's just waiting for you to recognize it. With your hand on your heart, feeling its steady beat, say these words with absolute certainty. My belief is the catalyst, so it is. Let your voice echo with confidence. Remember, you're not making a wish, you're stating a law that's already in motion. Feel the power of your words vibrating through you. Just like the sun rises, your declaration will become real. This isn't just about repeating words, it's a sacred connection with the infinite energy that flows through everything. In a small studio filled with morning light, Howard sat at his wooden desk, a quill in hand, ready to write. For years, he'd practiced the most beautiful scripts, mastering every classic form. Yet, wealth came to him through what he thought were his imperfections. The slight shake in his lines, the unique flourishes that happened when he wrote without thinking. You have your own signature vibration, a frequency that's uniquely yours and can't be copied or improved. Howard's story shows this truth. His wealthy clients bypassed his perfect calligraphy, drawn instead to the pieces where his true self shone through. The universe responds not to perfection, but to authenticity. Your unique essence holds a magnetic power that no polished surface can match. What you see as flaws might just be your greatest strengths. Sometimes the very traits you've tried to hide are actually your greatest gifts. Lucille, a tailor in a small town, learned this the hard way. Her traditional designs weren't getting any attention, while her unique creations, dresses with mismatched sleeves and bold colors, were tucked away in her back room. Then, one day, rent was due and she had nothing to lose. So she displayed her authentic pieces in the window. A wealthy art collector saw them, walked in, and Lucille felt a spark. Finally, someone got it. Real beauty is found in the unexpected. Within a month, Lucille's quirky designs filled galleries and attracted clients from all over. Her success didn't come from chasing trends, but from staying true to herself. Here's a truth to remember. Authenticity brings abundance. When you align with who you really are, you connect with an energy that's been waiting for you to notice. Your unique viewpoint and your personal way of navigating life aren't just random. They're key notes in the universal symphony. The wealth you seek recognizes your true self. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about fully embracing who you already are. Take a moment for yourself. Find some quiet time and let your breathing relax. Grab a pen and write one line that sums up your true nature, not who you think you ought to be, but who you are when no one's watching. Put that truth somewhere you'll see it every day. Let it remind you that your real self is your strongest magnet for abundance. In an ancient kingdom, Prince Randolph paced nervously in his room, going over his speeches. An elder sage observed quietly, filled with wisdom. "You must grasp this. True power doesn't need to shout," the sage said, motioning to the courtyard. Two figures stood out. One was a merchant, loudly proclaiming his worth. The other, a silent warrior, drew a crowd just by being present. "See how stillness speaks?" the sage whispered. "The universe operates on this principle. True energy needs no validation. When you embrace your inner strength, the world will respond. It's not just about your voice, it's about your energy. Those who get this know that force can weaken your power, while a strong presence boosts it." In a far-off town, there was Grace, a mother of 4. She spent years thinking she had to prove her worth with words. Every job interview felt like a challenge. She had to explain, convince, and persuade. But one day, something changed inside her. She let go of the need to justify herself. When Grace walked into the merchant's hall, she brought only her quiet confidence. Her energy filled the space before she even spoke, creating an unspoken authority that touched every part of the room. The wealthy merchant, who had turned away countless job seekers, glanced up from his books. Without asking about her qualifications, he offered her a chance that would change her family's life. This truth stands the test of time. When you own your power in silence, the universe starts to align with what you already know. Your calm presence draws in what's meant for you. The law is simple. What you radiate in certainty comes back to you in real ways. No need to shout about your worth when you already feel it inside. Your energy speaks louder than any words ever could. As you walk through life today, step into each place believing you already have what you want. Let your energy shine, arriving before your physical self. Move with quiet confidence, knowing your true value. Carry yourself as if you're already complete. Say nothing, need no explanations. Your silent essence communicates volumes. Just be you, letting your inner light guide the way. Watch how the world reacts to your quiet strength. Doors will open, and opportunities will come knocking in response to your self-assured power. People will naturally see and respect the unspoken authority you possess within. Now, let's turn to Louis, a watchmaker in a small village surrounded by ancient hills. Every evening, he carefully worked on his timepieces, but at night, vivid dreams danced through his mind. In these dreams, he imagined creating an extraordinary timepiece, one that captured not just hours, but also those magical moments. Remember, dreams carry the seeds for tomorrow's reality. Every morning when Louis woke up, his hands seemed to move exactly like the dreams he'd had while sleeping. The watches he crafted took on a unique, almost magical beauty, each one appearing just as he'd imagined them. The universe truly reflects the images you hold in your mind. But it's not just about visualization. It's all about the feelings that come with your vision. When you pair clear thoughts with deep emotions, you unlock the timeless law of manifestation. In a quiet valley, there was a farmer named Mildred who greeted each day before dawn. Instead of rushing into her chores, she would sit quietly in her simple room with her eyes shut and her heart open. In that peaceful space between sleep and wakefulness, she envisioned herself caring for her own land. She imagined feeling the earth beneath her feet and savoring the joy of a bountiful harvest. Mildred didn't hold these visions out of desperation or yearning. She had a calm certainty, knowing what was meant to come. Before long, unexpected things started to happen. A distant relative surprised her with a gift, a neighboring farm went up for sale, and a timely loan came her way, all perfectly aligning with the dreams she held close to her heart. This age-old truth has been passed down through generations. Your inner vision shapes your outer world. The universe reflects back what you clearly picture in your mind. When you dream with feeling, you engage in a creation process as old as time itself. As you settle in for the night, create a special, quiet space. Close your mind to the worries of the day and let yourself open up to the endless possibilities waiting in the dark. See tomorrow unfold just as you want it, not as a far-off wish, but as a vivid reality. Feel every detail, the conversations, the chances, the moments of grace. Let your senses come alive with your vision. Hear the words of praise and success. Feel the warmth of achievement wash over you. Breathe in the sweet scent of accomplishment. Allow this vision to sink deeply into your being until it feels as natural as breathing and as certain as the dawn following dusk. Then drift off to sleep, knowing the universe has received your blueprint. The wise ones of old called this practice dream seeding. For what you plant in the soil of your dreams blossoms in the light of day, and the seeds of tomorrow's success are nourished by your evening reflections. Every year, Arnold, a widower, would rise at dawn on the anniversary of his wife's passing. He'd step into the meadow, carrying a sapling and his quiet love for her. Without any fanfare or audience, he'd dig a hole and place not just a tree, but a piece of his heart back into the earth. Here's the thing. The universe keeps a precise record of every action born from pure love. As the years went by, Arnold's simple ritual turned into a beautiful grove filled with leaves and light. People walking beneath its branches felt a deep, inexplicable peace, a comforting presence in the air. This forest became a sanctuary, welcoming thousands seeking comfort and healing. When you plant genuine love into the world, it multiplies in ways you can't even imagine. Your heartfelt actions are never overlooked. They're cherished, nurtured, and returned to you beyond what you initially gave. In a small-town school, Maxine, the janitor, moved through empty hallways each evening. As she cleaned, she paused at every door, placing her hand on the wall and sending a silent blessing. Year after year, this unseen ritual filled every classroom with her quiet respect. Slowly, the atmosphere in the school began to shift. Teachers noticed their students becoming more focused and kinder. The walls seemed to hold a new energy. Test scores went up, behavioral problems decreased, and a sense of harmony filled the building. No one could explain the change, but everyone felt it. This truth has stood the test of time. What you do quietly, with pure intent, creates ripples that reach far and wide. The universe knows every blessing you give and every kindness shared. They multiply, even beyond your awareness. So, here's a sacred practice. Each day, do one act of kindness or service without seeking recognition. Keep it simple. Bless a doorway that others will walk through or leave an anonymous gift. In quiet moments, take care of the spaces around you. Straighten a crooked picture, clear a path, or whisper blessings in rooms before meetings. Bring beauty where it's least expected. In a notebook set aside for this purpose, write down your daily offerings. Record it with these words: I send this act of love into the universe's care, trusting it will flourish in its own time. After writing, let it go. Close your eyes and picture your acts of kindness spreading out like stones dropped into calm water, reaching shores you can't see. Let your generosity flow from a place of genuine giving. Remember, the universe keeps track perfectly and forever. Trust that every selfless action plants seeds of abundance in a vast garden of possibilities, blooming in ways you may not even expect. In a quiet graveyard where marble angels stand guard, lived a man named Clifford. Every morning, as mist wrapped around the old headstones, he noticed how his thoughts changed the atmosphere around him. When he focused on peace, the birds sang sweeter. When worry filled his mind, the fog grew heavier. You have this same awareness within you. You can see how your inner world shapes the outer one. Before you speak, before you act, your thoughts ripple through reality. This sacred law is always at work, whether you see it or not. The watcher inside you guards the doorway to creation. This mindful presence, free of judgment, holds the key to mastery. As you nurture this awareness, you start to realize how your thoughts lead to creation, how your energy introduces you even before you say a word. In a small coastal town, Betty Lou faced the silence of being a widow. Instead of battling her grief or forcing a smile, she chose to watch her feelings, like clouds drifting in the sky. Each morning she'd sit in her garden, observing her emotions without trying to change them. Today, sadness comes, she'd write. Today, anger arrives. Through this practice of simply observing, something amazing happened. Her emotions, no longer resisted, began to flow freely. Peace didn't come from struggle. It arose naturally through acceptance. This truth reveals itself. Awareness without judgment creates space for change. When you step back to view your inner world with compassionate detachment, you tap into a power stronger than force or will. The observer within you knows things beyond thought. Try this sacred practice. For one whole day, be the silent watcher of your inner self. Notice your emotions as they rise and fall without trying to change them. Acknowledge every reaction, even when anxiety surfaces. In the morning meeting, joy shines brightly. At lunch, frustration creeps in, especially when stuck in traffic. Keep your observations simple and clear, free from any self-criticism or overthinking. Imagine a mirror that just reflects without judging. Pay attention to each moment with fresh eyes. This practice helps you tap into the observer within you, the part that knows how to watch without getting caught up in the drama. Through this process, you start to see the quiet strength of awareness itself. As you nurture this clear seeing, layers of reactivity just fade away, revealing the bright consciousness that's always been there. Over time, you'll realize this aware presence brings a transformation all on its own. You don't need to force anything, just be willing to stay present and alert. Now let's dive into Chapter 27, The Gold of Detachment. In a little fishing village, where the morning mist mixes with salty air, there lived a fisherman named Silas. For 30 years, his old boat was his lifeline, his whole identity. But then a fierce storm came and took it away, leaving only broken pieces on the shore. In that moment, as he stood there empty-handed, something inside him began to shift. You too can find this moment of sacred surrender. The universe works on a tricky principle that many miss: non-attachment. When you hold on too tight to what you want, you actually create resistance against it coming to you. Silas' story shows us a timeless truth. Before receiving, you must learn to let go. As he stopped fighting his loss and quit letting it define him, he found the ocean's generosity waiting for him. A wealthy merchant came seeking a partner who understood the local waters. He offered Silas a chance to co-own a fleet of boats. What seemed like a loss opened the door to benefits he never imagined. This principle shows up everywhere in life, like in Lorraine's story. She was a devoted nurse who always tried to control her career. For years, she wanted a spot in the children's ward and mapped out every step, but promotions just slipped through her fingers. Then one day, she finally let go of how it should happen. Within a week, the head nurse in pediatrics retired unexpectedly, and Lorraine got the job she had dreamed of. It arrived in a way she could never have planned. Remember, when you're too attached to certain outcomes, you create resistance. Learn to want without clinging, desire without holding on tight. You need to align yourself with the natural flow of abundance. This isn't about just giving up. It's about trusting the universe's wisdom actively. Here's a practice for you. Pick one desire that's been on your mind. Maybe it's that promotion you've been after or the home you want to create. Write it down clearly on a piece of paper and follow it with these powerful words: I trust this or something better. Now, with intention, let it go from your daily thoughts, like a leaf drifting along a gentle stream. Each time you start to fixate on that desire, each time you feel that familiar tug of attachment, gently remind yourself, I trust this or something better. Let those words ground you. This practice opens the door for divine magnetism, letting the universe work without being held back by your worry or need to control. This way, you let in the infinite wisdom of the universe, which can create situations beyond what your mind can imagine. Through this surrender, you become a clear channel for abundance to flow. In Chapter 28, called The Sacred Mirror, there's a story about a photographer named Esther in a busy city. She noticed something interesting while looking through her camera. Each photo didn't just capture the scene, it reflected her inner expectations. When she approached her subjects with doubt, the photos turned out dark and uncertain. But when she shot them with joy, even the simplest scenes became bright and full of life. This shows an important truth. Your outer world constantly reflects your inner state. Like a camera lens, your mind projects what you believe onto real life. The law of attraction doesn't work through force, but through the dance between what you feel inside and what appears outside. Your thoughts and emotions shape the world around you. When you change your inner view, the outer world adjusts to match it. This isn't magic. It's an age-old principle. As within, so without. In a small town far away, a mechanic named Jed found this same truth in his small repair shop. Though he didn't say much, he began to see his workspace with eyes of abundance. While others saw old tools, he viewed valuable instruments. Where others saw routine jobs, he spotted chances for greatness. Without making a big deal about it, he gradually transformed his service. His customers picked up on the change. They respected his shop more, recommending it to wealthy clients and valuing his expertise. Jed hadn't changed his operations. He simply shifted his mindset. The universe doesn't listen to what you say you want. It responds to the energy you give off. Your inner state sends out a signal that life has to mirror back to you. That's why forced affirmations tend to flop, while real changes in how you see things lead to genuine growth. As the day winds down, take a moment to sit quietly with your journal. Let the peace wrap around you as you create a special space for reflection. Write down what your experiences today showed you about yourself. Did you see opportunities everywhere, or did they seem few? Did your interactions uplift you or drain your energy? What patterns popped up and how you reacted to what life threw at you? Notice without criticism how your inner feelings influenced your outer world. Look at how your thoughts shaped how you experienced every moment, every meeting. This awareness can help you make small changes inside, knowing your outer world will change too. This daily practice of reflection acts as a bridge, connecting your current life to the limitless possibilities that come from a new perspective. In a candlelit study, Raymond ran his fingers along the edges of old maps, carefully marking territories. For 40 years he'd charted the known world, but one border remained blank, a ghostly line shimmering at the edge of his mind. This wasn't an inked line. It was drawn by fear, holding back his spirit. You also face a similar border. The law of attraction works through stepping outside your comfort zone. Your biggest dreams are waiting in uncharted territory, just past the last fear that keeps you stuck in your familiar ways. This fear is different from everyday worries. It's the master fear that whispers, "Stay put where it's safe." But the greatest gifts from the universe lie just beyond that line. Your abundance grows in direct relation to your willingness to push through these self-made boundaries. In a small seaside town, Ununi sat at her piano. Her fingers hovered above keys she hadn't played in public for 7 years. The concert hall was silent, everyone holding their breath as she faced her biggest fear, not about hitting wrong notes, but about being truly seen. In that moment of choice, she placed her fingers on the keys and began to play. The music wasn't perfect, but it was genuine, and in that genuine moment, something changed inside her. Within weeks, students were showing up at her door. New opportunities that had been asleep during her silence suddenly came to life. By confronting her fear, she broadened the boundaries of her life. Your biggest breakthrough is sitting just outside what you know. It's about growing, not acting recklessly. The universe doesn't respond to comfort, it responds to courage. So, find a quiet spot where you won't be disturbed. Take 3 deep breaths and feel yourself settle in. What fears are lurking at the edge of your growth? Dig deeper than the surface. Find the real fear, the guardian of your dreams. Write it down clearly. Sit with it quietly for a few minutes. Acknowledge its presence. Then, write these words with intention. I walk through. This practice respects both your fear's wisdom and your power to rise above it. Remember, your fear defines the line between what you know and the vast possibilities waiting for you. Like a guardian at a sacred temple, it tests your readiness for what you desire. Your manifestation is waiting on the other side, gaining strength with each act of courage you take. When you finally step through, know this isn't just a metaphor, it's a significant shift in how you connect with the universe. In the highest room of an old clock tower, Elias went through his morning ritual. Each dawn, as light broke, he'd clean the gears, oil the parts, and wind the great clock that had kept time for ages. But this day was different. There was something in the air, a reminder of an ancient practice written in the tower's weathered stones. Like Elias, you stand on the edge of remembering. The secret isn't in doing more, but in becoming more. As Elias followed the soft whispers of the tower, moving his hands in familiar patterns, he learned that mastery doesn't require a declaration. The rhythms of the clock merged with his heartbeat, and he transformed from merely its keeper into something much greater. Embodiment is the core truth of magnetic attraction. You're not just looking for power, you are power. When you really grasp this, the universe shifts to match your vibe, effortlessly. You don't need to shout about your strength. Real power whispers. In a small-town library, Hazel figured this out without saying a word. After years spent sorting books and helping knowledge seekers, she developed a presence that didn't need to be heard. One autumn morning, as she strolled through the town square, she noticed how people naturally stepped aside. Conversations changed as she walked by. Even the leaves seemed to sway in her presence. She had become a living oasis of peace, and life adjusted to her energy. You have this same magnetic power. It doesn't need grand gestures or loud claims. It just asks you to remember who you really are, a quiet force of creation, already whole. The universe responds not to your actions, but to who you've become. Find a quiet spot where you won't be bothered, a little sanctuary away from the world's noise. Sit with your spine straight but relaxed, like a mountain rooted firmly. Rest your hands in your lap, close your eyes, and take deep breaths. Let each breath wash away the daily noise for 10 minutes. Allow these powerful words to flow with your breathing, like waves on an endless shore. I am the silent magnet. It is already done. Let each time you say it sink deeper into your being, not as something to prove, but as a truth to remember. This wisdom has always lived inside you. This isn't about becoming, it's about recognition, awakening to the power you've had since time began. Feel how every breath draws you closer to this ancient truth of who you are. If you like this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can grab it through the link in the pinned comment. So remember, you are now the silent magnet, not through struggle, but through remembrance. Your joy, your wealth, your purpose now flow to you thanks to the frequency you've built in silence. This isn't the end, it's a new way of living. You're on a path that never truly closes, because the current you've awakened is eternal. The universe now speaks through you, not to you. Just by being there, you change the energy of any space. You don't need to shout about your worth or fight for your dreams. They're in your very cells, pulsing in your veins, living inside you. This is how you were meant to be. Each day, life nudges you toward deeper alignment, stronger faith, and greater acceptance as you wander through the world. You'll see how things start to shift around your vibe. Opportunities pop up without you having to chase them. Abundance flows easily, and connections grow deeper without any strain. This isn't magic. It's the natural order of things showing up in your woke state. Your power isn't something you have to strive for anymore. It's something you carry softly within. It shines from your calmness, flows from your quiet, and reaches everyone around you. You've become what you were searching for. You've remembered your true self. Trust it, live it, share it with others. Let your simple presence remind everyone of what's possible when you align with the flow of creation. Now, your journey isn't about doing more. It's about allowing more. Open wider, trust more deeply, rest in your natural magnetism. And above all, keep listening to that quiet space inside you. In that sacred silence, everything you want is already yours. If you liked this exclusive audiobook, I've picked out another one that's sure to change your life.